I want to talk about shopping. It is the season for shopping. Everyone's thinking about returns. If I buy something and I want to return it, how long do I have to do that?
Well, it all depends on the circumstances. If you just want to return it because you didn't like the color or you find it doesn't fit or Granny didn't like it or whatever the case may be, then that's not covered by the Consumer Protection Act, and you actually have to then look to what the policy or the returns policy of the shop was, and then you would be bound by that. But if there was some defect in it, or if it wasn't fit for the purposes it would ordinarily be expected to fulfill, then you have a period of 6 months in which to take back the goods.
Now, a lot of our users have questions surrounding this particular issue. Can you use a product and then take it back within that 6 months if it is a manufacturer's default? Or defect,
Yes.
sorry, defect.
Yes, certainly. It is perhaps harsh from the manufacturer's point of view, but that's the plain intention of the Act, is that you have 6 months in which the defect can manifest itself. So you certainly can use the product in the meanwhile, and you can actually take it back at the cost of no penalty to yourself.
Okay, and you mentioned that the Consumer Protection Act protects you if there's a manufacturer's defect. If you do want to just return something because you don't like the color, you've changed your mind, what do consumers have to do?
Well, then that's very much according to the policy that's set down by the shop. So it may insist that you bring a till slip. It may even insist that you return with the original packaging, etc. They may even be able to charge you some amount for repackaging it or whatever the case may be. So that's only in the situation where there's nothing wrong with the goods.
Okay, and you just mentioned packaging. If you do want to return something, do you actually have to keep all of the packaging?
Not if there's a defect, but the problem is you never know what the purpose will be. And also, if those 6 months that we were talking about earlier expire, then you may have particular requirements in terms of a manufacturer's guarantee.
Okay, and Neville, I just want to go back to and touch on what we were speaking about before. If you buy a product and it has a manufacturer's defect, and you don't need to keep all of the packaging, you said, do you need to keep the slip?
Well, it's not an absolute requirement in terms of the Act, but it'll certainly make your life a lot easier. There are other ways of proving the transaction. For instance, if you bought it on credit, or you've got the box which has got the manufacturer's details on it, and they can some way, through the reference number, track down the transaction. But believe you me, it'll be much easier for people to actually just keep those slips, particularly if they want to claim on a warranty or something like that later. And I would advise them to actually take a photostat, because they have a nasty habit of fading. So you find you've got a blank piece of paper in 6 months' time.
And if you do go to the store to return something and they say otherwise, they don't want to accept your return, what should you do?
Well, then you can call us, and our call share number is 0860 000 272.
Okay, great. And do you have a website or something that people can visit and visit you online?
Yes, certainly. You can also get a form online. It's www.cgso.org.za.